Welcome everybody to the deep dive. So we're going to be looking at specific aspects of this phone. Of course, we have covered the UI, the unboxing, the usage experience, and the kit in previous videos, so check those out. Today we're going to be looking at the camera and optics of this phone. So there is a quad camera setup. Of course, 2 cameras in that are useful. The other 2 are not so useful. The two 2-megapixel sensors, yeah, they're not really worth anything. It's more there just to give you that quad count. So let's jump right into our usage experience with the camera. Our pretty friend Phoebe here used it to capture some selfies and have some fun with it, and she found it quite good. The 8-megapixel selfie camera, the front-facing unit, is pretty decent, and it does capture nice selfies. As you can see, it's a large device. It did slip out of her hand. So in terms of holding it for selfies, yeah, it's probably not the most convenient. We also asked her to get some food pictures because, let's face it, food photography is second only to selfies in Asia. You'll notice here that yet again, when trying to get that picture of the pizza, the phone slips a little bit. So the device is large and balancing it in your hand is not the easiest thing, especially if you have small hands. So without further ado, let's review some of those photographs. As you can see, it does really well in the daytime. The colors are good, the green of the grass is beautiful, so daylight is where it shines. This one was clicked on a rainy day, but the detail again was good being daylight. We could literally zoom into the cars and look at their number plates. This one is a lot more tricky. It was sunset, there were a lot of hues, as you can see. Detail in the shadow areas, not so great. Night photography is usually an area for the premium phones, and that does show. So this picture is about okay, but would look much nicer on a flagship phone. Same here, this is a little better as there's more light, but again, not the best picture. This one was taken during daylight. You could see that there's lovely color and the skin tones are also very good. This one was indoors, and as you can see, it does have a slight effect on the skin tone colors based on the light, so it's a good picture again. As for the food photography, it was about okay. Nothing that stood out for us. Looking at the detail on the pizza, it's quite decent. You gotta keep in mind that this is a budget phone and you're getting quite a good camera. These were the pictures that Phoebe was clicking earlier. As you can see, the camera takes some decent pictures, but it's nothing phenomenal. This picture was taken at Mega Mall and we were very impressed with the lighting and setup of the store. But in terms of how it's been captured, I would say it's decent, but again, not phenomenal. This one was better, probably because there was more straightforward lighting. Again, outdoor is where this camera really shines. The green in these plants literally popping. And lastly, this was on the front-facing selfie camera. Again, a decent picture. Moving on to the video, the camera seems to do a pretty decent job. This was shot at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, the next one at about 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and we do have some night videos as well to look at. Overall, it does an okay job. Stabilization, not so good, so it probably does not have any kind of image stabilization. All of the video was shot handheld, so in some cases you can see that the video is a little shaky, so stabilization is probably not the strong suit of this phone. All the videos were shot at 1080p, which is the maximum this phone supports. As for this particular video, it was a tricky one. It was inside a cab, the car is moving. As you can see, there's glass which is wound up and it's been raining, so there's water droplets, but still the phone does a good job of auto-focusing on the objects outside. Alright, so let's look at the screen next. So we did talk about content consumption in terms of video watching in the previous video. You can check that out on our Just Landed video. Here we're going to be looking more at the usability, the experience of reading text indoors and outdoors. So Phoebe took the phone out for a spin in an outdoor setup, so there was sunlight on the phone, and she was using it to look at her Facebook and other streams, and the experience was pretty good. She also scrolled through some of her pictures while indoors, and again, the screen was quite good. It's a glossy screen and it stayed bright throughout. We hope you're enjoying our content. Do subscribe for more tech videos like this. It would be a disservice not to talk about the battery in this phone, given that it's a 6000 mAh unit, which is one of the unique selling points of this phone. Also included is an 18-watt fast charger, which was good because charging up this battery to full takes quite some time, a little over 3.5 hours. You can pause now if you want to see the full matrix. In terms of usability, the experience was pretty good. We tried a ton of different apps. We did game on the phone. We did use both PUBG as well as Mobile Legends, and the phone was pretty smooth. If your use case is more light to medium, you can easily expect about 2 days worth of battery life on this phone, and given its long charge times, you could probably just charge it at night. To be fair, it's not always about fancy specs, it is about the user experience, and Phoebe did have quite a bit of fun with this phone. The specs are adequate, so expect adequate performance, be it gaming or day-to-day use. We would recommend the 4GB version of memory. As for what stood out for us, surely it's that massive battery that gives some pretty amazing battery life, which is stellar. The large screen, that's a nice addition, and of course the price point. The amount of stuff that you get at this price is unheard of. Over the last few years, Realme has been launching some great budget phones, making an otherwise low-cost segment interesting. They have been consistently stepping up their game, and today we have the Realme C15, which is on par with phones from a few tiers above. The battery, screen, design, and functionality that Realme has made possible at this price point is just incredible. The Realme C15 is so competent that it's not just for those on a budget, but also for those looking for a good all-rounder that would have previously cost a lot more.